Welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, Taurus, there is a link in the description box where you can find your whole birth chart. And that way, for additional information for the week, you can always check out your Moon and Rising signs, as well as your Sun sign reading today. So this is for Taurus for the week of August 22nd to August 29th. I am using the Wisdom of the Oracle Tarot for a 3-card spread today. We're looking at a central issue, or you as the central issue, outside influences or cause for the issue this week, and then a probable outcome card, and using the bottom of the deck for general energy, and as always drawing from the Healing with the Angels Tarot and the Medicine Card Tarot for additional information. So this is a general reading, Taurus. Whatever is helpful here, please use to your advantage. Whatever isn't working for you or doesn't make sense, you can completely ignore, and hopefully your Moon and Rising sign readings will help add more information. So what does Taurus need to know? So I did have 2 jump. I'm going to take them. Okay. And then bottom of the deck. Up here. Sweet. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little bit of a snapshot of what's going on in general here. We're going to treat this second card here to the probable outcome as just a little influence on the outcome. And of course, the bottom of the deck, energy. So just a general snapshot of what's going on here, Taurus. First thing I'm noticing is that the thinker card is still your central position, as opposed to being in your probable outcome from last week. So you are probably still embroiled in a lot of decision making or thinking very predominantly over a concern or issue that could bring blessings or health or assistance or prosperity, etc. into your life. You're concentrating really hard on this, and it could be a new study. It could have something to do with a vault of new information that you're not necessarily opposed to learning. It's just a little bit of a learning curve, or there's a phase involved, or there are chapters. It could even be school. It could even be that there are lessons or grades or levels, etc. But what represents you this week is the thinker card, and this is what's going on. Is there beauty involving what's going on there, or changes involving the beautiful changes involve what's going on there? Absolutely. I don't see you thinking yourself into a corner. I don't see you overthinking here. I don't think you're making problems for yourself by doing this. I just think you're giving something an enormous amount of thought in order to elevate yourself. And the reason why I say that you're not thinking yourself into a corner or anything bad is because of all the other influence around the cards. You're really doing this for the highest good of everybody, and because you know that a change is necessary. So I think you're really just making room in your life or in your mind or heart, as it were, to adopt this new information. It's one thing to study it and think about it, but it's another thing to adopt it and apply it to your own life. So that's what I see going on here. I see you maybe at the end of phase 1 or at the end of a phase of the thinking process, and then you're probably going to begin adopting this or actually exhibiting this in your day-to-day life. So let's see, the bottom of the deck energy for the week is blessed. And this is really beautiful. You're always on top. Anyone who gets the blessed card for general energy, or basically any supporting card, is a really beautiful place to be. I always read this as 10th house energy, and it's also ascension energy. So there could be new changes, beautiful changes around health, spirituality, or mental health, physical health, any type of health within the home, the business, the home, your status. You could become more prosperous. Even the way you relate to others, or how other people perceive you. They could perceive that you are evolved or more intelligent about something in particular, about, like I said, any one of those things about the heart, as in romance, or about health. But if it's about a discipline, if it is school, or if it is a study in particular, it's something that you will be able to assist other people with, and you will be more knowledgeable about that, and it will assist other people in the same way that it's helped you. It's something that's transferable. So whatever you're thinking about here is something you can help other people with, definitely. And it will assist your life, not just for the week. I think this is something, especially if you're willing to apply, if it's a new study or a discipline, if you will. If it's something that you're willing to apply this week, it's something that'll carry over and become a permanent fixture in your life, because it'll feel so good. It'll feel so positive. So that's a really lovely energy that's going on around the week for you in the central position. This does represent you this week. Like I said, it's the thinker. It's you really paying attention to new information, or information that you didn't consider seriously before, and now you're looking into in a different way or through a new lens. And if I'm not mistaken, this was your probable outcome card last week. So this is a real big carryover from last week. I do hope it has to do with ascension consciousness here. I'm not saying you have to use it this way, but it appears as though that's what's going on. If this is about thinking about personal relationships, it's not necessarily a bad thing either. Regardless, what is being thought about as a carryover from last week, I think you're finally going to begin to apply this week. And we're going to look at why in just one second, but we're going to look at the reasons why I think this is being produced in your life right now in terms of causes or influences, the leg up. And I feel like you know that the thinking about this subject or topic or theme, etc., is because it's going to benefit you and other people, because you've already seen it benefit somebody else. I really feel like this is about you finally respecting and acknowledging something that you know to be true, that you didn't want to adopt for whatever reason, or you didn't want to acknowledge, or you didn't even want to admit worked even, and that's okay. This comes with no judgment. It's just you finally seeing, maybe there is some credibility to what is working for someone else, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel, and you don't need to make things harder for yourself or more difficult. And you also don't need to deny what already works. I know that Taurus is often considered one of the more stubborn signs, but I think it's a fixed sign attitude. All fixed signs are stubborn. I don't think it's fair to just say Taurus is stubborn, but I do think for all fixed signs, that's Leo, that's Taurus, that's Aquarius. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the other fixed sign right now. Leo, Aquarius, Taurus. Okay, don't hate me right now, I'll come up with it. But as a fixed sign, you are slow to give up ideals or habits, slow to adopt new habits. And that can be good. That can be really great. You are going to really make sure things are firm, make sure that there's a lot of stability before moving ahead. And that's what I see going on here. I think that you've done your research and you're like finally admitting, I can't find the holes in this argument anymore. I can't find the flaws in this. So maybe I just need to accept it. And this is why I see you doing that. And this is why I do see beautiful outcomes when this knowledge or this thinking is applied, is because new life awaits you. This is what I mean about applying a new discipline as opposed to just thinking about it. If this were in your probable outcome position, for example, I would say that you're not comfortable applying this, or you're still in a question period or a question phase, or You still need to do your research. But I see with the new life being a probable outcome with you saying, you know what, let's start it. Let's take step one. That's what I see going on here. And the reason why I know that you're doing it because you're ready to do it and not reluctant to do it is the loyal heart card. This means that you have a great deal of heart involved. There is a lot of support here. There is a lot of, we have the royal crowns on the owls, for example, and the owls represent wisdom, psychic knowledge, and the knight, anything having to do with women, for example. So I think you just feel emboldened to try something that is probably working for other women in your life. If they aren't other women necessarily, they could be effeminate or have feminine qualities or work easily or well with women. So I do think that you are putting something that you've thought about very heavily, probably for at least the last 2 weeks, into practice, which is a really beautiful thing to see for you. Curious to see if this is going to make really positive changes for you quickly, or if you're going to see them over time. I think that you'll probably, like I said a second ago, you'll probably be implementing things one phase or one step at a time. And honestly, for lasting change, that's how things need to be done anyway. So really see if they apply to you and if they fit, and if you're comfortable with them, those changes, for example, or those themes or those concerns. Try them one by one, right? Make sure that they make sense to you. Oh, okay, I got 2. This is what I'm talking about here, Taurus. This is exactly where I was going with this, and I wasn't exactly sure. Now I am. One thing that I tend to leave out with the blessed as a 10th house card is that it's ruled by Capricorn, and Capricorn rules the skeleton, and it rules lessons and time and age, etc. So there could be an issue around healthcare, body care, not necessarily that things are falling apart in order to get better, but that this interest or this thinking or concern or application of this topic or subject does have something to do with the body or healthcare here. So you can really give yourself a break by applying, say, nutritional science or therapeutic science or even mental health wellness, right? If there are ways that people are able to help themselves out of a health concern, this is what's going to be appealing to you. But likewise, if it's about prosperity, if it's about relationships, whatever it is, if you know other people have helped themselves out of something, you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And that's what I see here as well. And remember, body care does include mental health care. So that could very well be what's going on here. And then abundance. I really feel like, especially at the end of this week, if you give this a chance, if you start applying something that you've been looking into for a little while, I feel like you're going to have abundant health. You're going to see the positive outcomes of taking this chance toward this new goal or toward this new concept or way of thinking or discipline or lifestyle even. So yeah, something abundant regarding bodily care is going to occur through. So this is for the week, but I would suggest it'll occur at the end of the week more so than at the beginning, because you're going to have to put this into practice first and then see how you feel about it. So let's see what the last card is for you here. I'm actually really excited for you to be putting this into practice. I hope it works out better than you expected, Tor. And maybe give that the chance to, maybe even say, like, approach it with not so much caution as much as excitement, okay? So the energy that you would put into caution, maybe. As long as you can't physically or mentally sort of get hurt here, I think if you approach it, you know, with a loyal heart, with some excitement here, with some commitment here, I think it'll be more exciting and joyful. In the dragonfly card, of course, we have the illusion. So we're just looking at issues of perhaps going back to something that's more comfortable for you, the illusion of comfort here. I know that our earth signs are really interested in creature comfort, so just make sure that any new phases or new habits aren't being sidelined because you favor old habits out of comfort. Remember that if this is about making new habits, or if it is about creating adjustments in your life that you think will be helpful and healthful, not to get tied into what was comfortable in the past. Everything is going to feel a little bit wonky for the first couple of weeks. And if this is about a habit, just remember that habits take about 4 to 6 weeks to change. So give yourself a little bit of time, be gentle with yourself, and look for the best. Create a new life for yourself. Make sure to make that commitment and give it a real college try here. So that is your reading, Taurus. If you have a second, let me know how it works out for you this week. I'm always curious. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel because I upload videos for your sign every single week. Until we meet next time, take good care, Taurus. Bye for now.